And then she went back to bed.
Went back to bed.
To relax a little while longer.
Yeah. And then I don't even know. I was so out of it, so I don't know like the time that was passing, you know. But I just remember, you know, I felt I had the urge to push, and I was laying down, so I was like, oh no, I need to get in the tub.
Yeah. At this point, she pretty much demanded to get in the tub.
I was like, I have to get in the tub.
And
I have the urge to push. And as I was sitting up, I guess just, you know, when you sit up, you use like your stomach muscles to sit up. You know, as I was sitting up, my water broke, and it felt like a water balloon breaking in my uterus. I mean, that's what it felt like. I felt the pop. I know some women feel a pop, and then some women, and they like gush out, and then some women, it's like trickling out, like they don't, yeah. But I, like, it literally felt like, and it kind of felt like I had birthed the balloon, and it popped like right outside. It was, but I don't know.
And this is about 4 hours in. We decided to go ahead and get in the tub.
Yeah. Because
she pretty much demanded it. She was feeling the urge to push, and I was like, well, the midwife will be here soon. Go ahead and get in the tub, and
if I had known, I would have. Once I got in the tub, my contractions, like, I would feel the pressure, but the pain went, like, there was no more pain. If I had known that, I would have been in the tub the whole time.
Water birth highly recommended.
Yeah, and I know every woman's different, so I'm sure there's some women who still feel the contraction, but like the pain, it was so, oh, it felt so good. It was warm, and anyways, so I was, you know, obviously waiting for a midwife, and like we joke about it because she literally got there 15 minutes before Jonathan was born, you know.
So this is 4 hours and 15 minutes in,
and
she says she cannot not push. She had to push.
I was asking my midwife, I was like, can I push? I really need to push, because I didn't know if I was able to push.
And she didn't know either. We hadn't measured anything.
We
nothing.
Didn't know
she was just sitting in the tub. And she said, I have to push. And the midwife had just gotten there, didn't even get the scale out of her card. She was like, okay, your body knows best.
You can push. Yeah, I was pushing, and you know, I was feeling Jonathan going down, and you know, I was ready for him to come out. So it only took 15 minutes to get him out, and I tore pretty bad. Because he was born.
He cut you pretty bad.
Yeah, he was born with his hand up here, so
one finger out.
So I'm sure that if I had, you know, not pushed as hard, I guess, and let me stretch naturally, I guess, it wouldn't have been as bad.
Well, he did have a cord wrap, I believe, and his hand was right here. He actually had his finger out, which is what cut her, but the midwife reached in and felt it and pulled it off of his head before he came all the way out. It was, I know that she felt a little bit of pain during the end, you know, that ring of fire.
Yeah, they call it a ring of fire for a reason.
Yeah, but that was the only real pain you felt, right?
It was like the vagina is on fire. Yeah, I was screaming. Yeah, and we live in an apartment, so I felt bad for these people that live around us.
Yeah, that's all I could think about. I was like, honey, the neighbors.
But I mean, Josh was a real a really good support system. You know, we had learned that, you know, what is it, like the higher you scream, you know, it kind of, it doesn't
when you're
drop.
screaming high and looking up, this is kind of one of those weird energy things that people talk about. But the biology of it kind of makes sense, because when you're screaming high, looking up, you're exerting your energy upward, and so they teach you to press down and bear down and even lower your voice when you're screaming. And I think that helped her a lot.
Yeah.
That was
like
about my only job, helping her focus on that.
Like even through the contractions and the pushing, you know, if my voice had gotten really high, he would just keep reminding me to lower my moans and, you know, push down and stuff.
I remember I said that like 1,000 times.
Yeah. And I know a couple times, you know, I had been like, I know a lot of women say, I can't do this, you know, but Josh, you know, reminded me, like, you can do this and you are doing this.
It's almost done.
Yeah, I mean.
And I was lying. I thought that you still had another 30 minutes to go.
Yeah, and, you know, once, and, like, I kept wanting to, because I was, like, you know, laying in the tub, like, kind of like this, you know, I was, like, my back was up, and, you know, kind of, and I kept wanting to lift up, you know, because it was hurting, like, my vagina was burning, and, you know, I kept wanting to lift up, and I was just, I guess, reflexes or whatever, and my midwife kept, you know, reminding me that I needed to stay underwater, you know, I needed to have that underwater, for Jonathan, and
yeah, because if you birth the baby in the water, as soon as he comes out, you have to keep him out.
Yeah, because he still gets oxygen from his cord, and so once he's breathing oxygen, then he's breathing it from his mouth, his nose. So. But once the head was out, you know, it was really easy. It wasn't, like, pretty much the pain went away, because I guess that's the worst part, you know, getting the head out first, and then
the shoulders,
and then after that, you know, it was pretty much over, and then I don't remember, like, after he was born, what happened?
This all happened so quickly. I mean, the last bit we were talking about, from the time she got in the tub till now, is 30 minutes. From the time she started pushing until now is 15 minutes. And so 15 minutes after she starts pushing, Jonathan is on her chest.
And I was
we're starting to clean up.
Yeah, I was wearing a sleep bra, sleep nursing bra, and I ended up taking that off.
Yeah, you needed to take that off so we could get skin to
skin contact.
And he dropped some meconium on her.
Yeah, a couple times, but, you know, once you have your baby, nothing really matters. Like, I was like, oh, whatever. But, you know, because I was just looking at this beautiful little boy that's laying on top of me, and he wasn't crying, he was just relaxed, which I know a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, why isn't he crying? But, you know, you gotta think.
He was breathing, he was relaxed.
Yeah, babies who are born, like, who are born in the water, you know, once they're born, they're still warm from the water, and it's just relaxed. As long, you know, I trusted our midwife. She seemed to think he was fine, so I had
had good color,
no question about it. But I had, you know, just having him on my chest, it was like, I was like, I can't believe it's already over, you know?
I was thinking the same thing.
The whole labor and delivery process was 5 hours tops. I mean, and you don't see that a lot, especially with first-time moms. So it just surprised me, and
it was a good experience.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so everybody knew that we were in delivery about the time the baby came out.
The baby was born. Yeah, because I didn't want, you know, and I don't have any regrets about that, you know, because when I was imagining my labor and delivery, I knew that I didn't want to call people right away, because I didn't want a bunch of people over here for hours and hours, like possibly a day,